Now what happened to their other shelves? Well, these shelves were probably, they're all Formica covered. And sometimes if the Formica's not put on right, it could start rolling up and flipping up, and then you can't glue it back down. And that's probably what happened, and they ended up throwing those shelves away. Now see this one here? I see just a very slight bow to it. And what they should have done is before they loaded that up, they could have taken this and flipped it around the other way and had this bow facing up. And then they could put all the stuff down there and it would be almost perfectly straight. Okay, but they didn't do it. Porque no. They just didn't have Joe around when they did that. Okay, so now when I put these in, I'm going to look at these really close and determine what side I want the top and bottom and stuff, just in case if there's any marks on them. So see if there's a mark on there, and if you look at this, you don't necessarily want the mark facing up because, or down, because you might still see it depending what height it is. So then you might want the mark up at the top. You know what I mean? So I'm going to look at that and strategically get these placed and get these shelves in. And I see, you see this one here? See those goblets? It's higher than where the shelf's going to be, huh? So I'm going to have to take those and I'm going to have to move those up. And I'm going to take a handy dandy pair of pliers so I can pull those out. I'm going to have to move some of the glasses, be real careful. Especially if some of those don't come out, you know, you should be able to kind of twist it and pull. But if it's kind of hard, just use a pair of pliers. It'll be nice and easy. Okay, you conned me into it. I'm gonna flip this bottom shelf around. And I probably should take my simple green and spray on there too. And you know what? You know what cracks me up? And I don't quite understand why people stack glasses this way. They're all upside down, right? So you wash your glasses in the dishwasher, then you put them in a shelf that very seldom gets wiped off. There's no way a shelf gets wiped off once a day to put these. Then you put your clean glasses on there, and then when you get ready to drink, you're putting your nice clean lips around a nice dirty glass that have been rubbing down here on this. I just don't get that. I always, when I set all my stuff up, I just put it right side up. You know, maybe it doesn't look as professional or something, but then I don't have to worry about this. I mean, granted, I wash my shelves every once in a while, but come on. How many times have you even washed or seen the top of your shelf? Huh? And then you're going to put a glass up there that's clean so that you can drink out of it? Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay, now I'm going to put all this stuff back up here just the way I found it. And whenever you take stuff down, you always want to try to put it back up the way you found it. You know, they may not even realize I did this for them. And am I going to point it out to them? I don't know. I might, and I might not. Okay. Now, I can grab one of my shelves. I'm looking at it. This one looks good. I just kind of slip it in at an angle. And is it going to fit, folks? Oh, sweet. Yes. See, I raised that up. That gives just enough room for this. And the other thing they could have done is, see, if you're having a hard time reaching glasses, or if you're shorter or something, what you could do, depending where your holes are on the side, you could lower this one down. Now see, there's another hole right here, but that's going to be just hitting these back glasses. If you didn't have those back glasses, if you had glasses that were only this tall and then you reduced them down to the smaller ones, you could lower this shelf down one if you have adjustable shelves. And then we could take this shelf and lower that down one, and then you're more easily able to reach your second shelf. as a thought, you can do that too.